Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently actually doing really well against the United States. So we're making fantastic progress there, so far anyway, and things are a little bit more grim over on the Switzerland side, but this is mostly because we weren't anticipating fighting Switzerland, right? So we're on our way over here. At the very least, we want to hold them off while we deal with the US. But for now, let's see how this is going to end up going up over here. And the answer is it's going very well, all things considered. Now, Netherlands has called Luxembourg as our ally. I was under the impression we had called everyone, but okay, sure. That's fine. So we're going to just continue our way through here. Netherlands has called the Dutch East Indies in. That is their vassal, I believe. So that's fine. And Dutch South Africa has been called in as well. Okay, sure. So that all seems okay. We're going to be linking up our two fronts here relatively soon at this rate. Things are definitely going very, very well here as far as all of this goes. Like, the US is not in a good position to defend itself. What's all this? Oh, this is expeditionary. Yes, we accept all these expeditionary forces. Absolutely. Cool. So that all looks good. That is a lot. 104 divisions. I'm going to select half of them, and we're going to put half of them here, and we're going to select the other half, and they're going to go here. Okay, that'll do for now. So we're going to continue to make our way in over here at Switzerland, and we'll see if we manage to push in anytime soon. I'm not necessarily expecting it. Hamburg has joined the Swiss Concordat. Now, Switzerland is in this, right? Yes. So Hamburg joins it, which I believe is right up over here. Noted. Who else is in the Swiss Concordat? Anybody? I mean, the US. But that's pretty much it. Okay, so Hamburg might get called into this. However, if they do, that shouldn't be that big of a deal, in theory. But we do need to get the US taken out of here, right? No doubt about that. Now, Hamburg has been called in, and that's not surprising. I'm going to hop over here. We're going to grab some of the guys that are set to defend in this area. Apparently, no one's set to defend in this area. Okay, I want to check in down this way. Cool. So I want to take this unit of Marines, and we're going to tell them, come up to Hamburg. It's going to take them some time to get here. No doubt about that. But we'll just get up here and we'll start offensive lining directly in here, like so. Now then, these guys. These guys should have been attacking here, and they really haven't been, because they're on cautiously execute. Let's put them on balanced and see if they start attacking. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, cool. So that is phenomenal. We're making very solid gains on the US. Right now, our primary goal is to just link up these two fronts and drive a wedge. And that's definitely happening. No doubt about that. So that's looking good. Sierra Leone has capitulated, and that means that these Marines can now be told to go somewhere else. And we're going to have to go work with Hamburg up here. I'm going to put them here for the time being. So up they go. It's going to be mildly awkward dealing with Hamburg and Switzerland for the time being, but our forces are currently committed to attacking the US. And to that end, I'm going to have this armored division start launching an offensive line that for now is simply going to be like Pennsylvania. They're just going to push down to about there. Cool. So they're going to get started on that. I feel like we don't need to have our units in defensive postures out over here, so that's okay. Expeditionary forces are called back from Portugal. Fair enough. So we can see there's a nuke going off here in Oklahoma. Okay. And there's also a number of pockets out over here. That is phenomenal. We're really, really glad to see that. And these pockets are absolutely going to get eliminated. Like, this is going incredibly poorly for the US. Now, Switzerland, we've managed to get largely under control. Hamburg is going to run amok for a little bit here. There's not a lot we can do about that because we don't have all that many forces nearby. But that's fine for now. We're just going to continue to attack over here. Hello, pause menu. That is all looking very good. So I want to grab this army group and have them have an offensive line, which is, of course, just out over here. This is not the offensive line I want them to have. Okay, offensive line, which is something more akin to this. It's still not perfect. Not perfect at all. Okay, it just did this. Sure. I'm just going to get rid of that. The Bremen Proletarian Revolt has joined the Swiss Concordat. Okay, I mean, we'll deal with that as well. It'll take time for forces to get there, though. So the Bremen Proletarian Revolt has been called in, and they are where exactly? Okay, so that would be right up over here. That's fine. That's bordering Hamburg. So no major concerns there. We're definitely pushing in from the north here. There's apparently potentially a naval invasion down here, but it seems to have vanished. Okay. Well, we'll see if that pops up later on. Cool. So we're just working on eliminating this pocket here. And, of course, we've got this nonsense going on over here. There's a lot of nonsense here, for sure. No doubt about that. I wouldn't mind bringing these guys in to assist this attack. And that's exactly what we're going to do. That seems fine. And we're just continuing to press across the U.S. The question is, how close are they to capitulation? 47% already. I just noticed Richmond is their capital. Okay. Well, that's interesting historically. We haven't paid a lot of attention to what was going on with the U.S., to be honest. This tells a story. And that story is that it's very likely that the Confederacy won. Intriguing. That also might go a long way to explaining what's going on with this war and why it's so easy. Okay. Well, that is fine. We're going to just finish that up. Of course, Hamburg is going nuts over here, and we knew that that was going to be the case. Our allies have forces getting up there. It's not a problem. We'll have our own forces pulling in there fairly soon. So for the time being, that seems fine. Portugal is returning their expeditionary forces. That's okay. So right now, we have this offensive line, right? I want to get rid of that, and I want to put in a new offensive line, which is pretty much just the east coast here. We want to get Richmond taken over, and this offensive line would end the war with the U.S. So we'll get going on that. That's apparently another nuke going off over here in Macon. Okay, sure. Well, we're just going to continue to attack off over this direction. They don't have a lot of forces over here, and we have altogether too many forces over here. So that's interesting. We probably don't have enough on this front because of that. Okay, we're working on taking out these Michigan areas. Looks good. No, this looks absolutely fine. I think there's no problem on this side. Now, of course, Hamburg is a bit of an issue. We definitely need to do stuff there. No doubt about that. Now, we've got this unit here, and I want to select all. And we're going to have them offensive lining. Actually, it's this unit that needs to offensive line. They're going to be offensive lining for now, all the way up to, like, here. And they can get going on that. Cool. So we're going to push in there. Croatia is returning expeditions. That's fine. We don't actually need those expeditions, so that's okay. That all looks good. This is all going to get taken care of up here. Michigan is under control at this point. The question is, how long will it be until the U.S. falls? And the answer is, I think, very, very short. Have we taken this area out yet? There's still some resistance out here. Pushing through the mountains is challenging, no doubt about that. But I'd really like to see these guys push in right here and cut these off, because this is the only naval base here. So we're going to head in here, and these lads, yeah, this movement is fine. We didn't actually beat them here. That is noted. But we are going to win that battle, and we're going to head in. Perfect. So the U.S. has very little left. It's pretty much over. Like, this is turbo over for the US. That's looking great. Switzerland is being contained at this point, and we are pushing into Hamburg. We're not surprised about this. Hamburg is very unlikely to be able to hold that territory that they took, so that seems fine. We are in striking distance, almost, of Richmond. And once Richmond falls, I expect the US to capitulate. So that'll be great. There'll be very little left to do over here at that point. Excellent. We're now officially in striking range of Richmond, and Richmond has actually fallen. We just need to get there. This should be a capitulation. Yep, there we go. Perfect. So the US is done. Look at that. Beautiful. Next up, the question is, how are we doing down here? Honestly, it's good enough. I'm going to take our tank army group. Honestly, not even the whole army group. I'm going to take this army and tell them, come over to Switzerland. We need you guys to offensive line straight back here. Get in there. Okay, that's way too many divisions. Hang on. What happened here? I selected the wrong thing. Okay, I want the division that is going to be down here. So this is an army group order right now. Yeah, I don't want an army group order here. Yep, that was the problem. Get out of here, army group order. Okay, these guys should still be in their frontline order. Select all, please. Can we, like, Control A? Well, we could just do this. That's fine. So I want them to be assigned here, but I'm going to grab half and half again, and they're going to be assigned here. Okay, something like that. Now, I want to move in one tank unit, only one, and that will come in right over here, and we'll offensive line straight down like that. Okay, the rest of our forces are probably unnecessary. I currently believe that we are going to be absolutely fine taking out Hamburg and Bremen just with our Marines. So that should be okay. We're just going to continue pressing in towards Hamburg here. And Bremerhaven will, of course, fall soon as well. So this looks absolutely fine. Our soft attack should be more than sufficient to get us through here. I don't think we need any hard attack for this. Bavaria wants to send 10 divisions. Okay, sure. So we've got these guys here. We'll put them, for the time being, here. Okay, that looks good. So we're now in striking range of Hamburg. Hamburg is very likely to capitulate once their capital falls. So this looks good. Which, we're currently attacking their capital. Yes, I'm aware of this nonsense out over here. There's apparently some U.S. forces over here still. But there's Hamburg capitulating. That's absolutely wonderful. I want these guys... Yeah, get in here. That's fine. Bremerhaven is, of course, going to have to be eliminated. I want to grab the units that are assigned here right now as soon as this autosave is over. They're going to offensive line directly into... Actually, it's Bremen, not Bremerhaven. Okay. Get in there. Fantastic. So, of course, after that, Switzerland is the only remaining thing that needs to be dealt with. Now, we do have these guys on their way over. They're going to take some time to get there. But our Marines are doing a very good job of pushing in here. Now, there is this unit here and this unit here. I'm going to pull some of these guys, specifically these. And I'm going to have them come up here, with the idea being offensive lining and stack wiping this tank. Get up there. And then they're going to go respond to this unit if that's not already taken care of. Now, this unit here, where are they going? Oh, there are some units down this way. I gotcha. Get in there, eliminate that. That should be no problem. So that's a stack wipe, and in we go. Perfect. Bremen has now fallen. And there goes the Bremen Proletarian Revolt. Perfect. So these guys are dealt with. We just need to deal with this U.S. tank here. Get in there. There should be no problem dealing with that, even with Marines. Yeah, it's stack wiped. Perfect. So that looks good. Now, our tanks are going to be arriving over here fairly soon, right? Yeah, they're making their way across the pond. They'll get there eventually. So that looks good. At this point, the only people who are involved in this who have not capitulated is Hawaii, who should not matter because they are under the US, and Switzerland, who of course needs to capitulate, but we'll get there. Okay, now, I want to take a look at our construction progress right now. We're still working on these 2 land forts. Hilarious. I do want to get civilian factories built wherever possible. It looks like the US has already maxed out its civilian factories. Okay, let's build a civilian factory here and in Hanover as well. Cool. So something like that. Then I want to make sure that infrastructure in these areas are maxed. So they are not maxed in the US, so let's get those done. It actually needs quite a lot of infrastructure. Which, again, would make sense if the Confederacy won. So that seems absolutely fine. Let's get that all built, and we are, of course, going to eliminate Switzerland very, very shortly here. I'm not going to pull down the Marines. Usually, if the US hadn't have fallen, at this point, the choice would be to pull the Marines in to take this over and start trying to push in. Marines are, of course, not ideal in mountainous regions. I mean, neither are heavy tanks, but, you know, whatever. We're going to bring these on in. They'll arrive shortly. Eventually. So we do have free military factories right now. We may want to think about what we want to do with that. We also have a lot of dockyards available at this moment. It's probably not the biggest of deals. We are lacking some modern tank chassis. How many do we have stockpiled? We burned through all of those modern tanks fighting the US. I didn't think resistance was that stiff. Okay. Noted. That's fine. We can toss a few more factories into medium flame tanks. I think that's a reasonable thing to do. And then we've got dockyards, right? And I'd kind of like to get another line of destroyer hulls. So let's get one of those going. And that will be moved right on up to here. We'll put 10 into that. And we've still got another 15 to do. So I want to do one more sub-hull and one more destroyer hull. So we'll do a submarine hull, and we will also do a destroyer hull. There we go. So we'll bump that up to 10, and then this up to 10. That is, of course, not fully at 10. So we'll put our submarines up here. There we go, and put our destroyers somewhere up here. Looks good. So we'll get those underway, and our tanks are arriving in Europe at this point. So that looks solid. They'll be arriving at the front very quickly. They're being transferred over by rail once they get there. So that looks good. They'll be arriving right up over here. And they'll start launching attacks fairly quickly, but these attacks aren't going to be very successful at the beginning because we don't have a lot of organization. That'll take a little bit of time, but that's fine. This armored division can absolutely go here. Fantastic. And we've got an autosave. Okay. I want to see what's going on in Switzerland right now. We do have successful attacks going on. Okay, Bern is going to fall very quickly. That's intriguing. We've got more tanks on the way in, and this is just going to get a lot worse for them. Like, this war is over. It's so over. So Bern has fallen at this point, and Switzerland might capitulate here. Let's see what happens. We just need to take over Bern. Yep, they do indeed capitulate. Fantastic. That's what we were looking for. First things first, we're going to take... Actually, can we just take everything right away? We might be able to. We can definitely take everything outside of the US right away. Oh, we can just take everything. Literally everything. We'll submit these demands, and that is it. We will confirm and exit. Yes. So we'll exit that conference. That's fantastic. We are no longer at war, and we control basically all of North America now. Perfect. This is looking really, really solid. Yes, expeditionary forces are indeed going to be called back. So, at this point, the question is, what do we need to do still? Well, what we need to do at this point is take over the remaining non-Carpetanian regions. And the big one here is Austria and this cluster of African nations. Austria is definitely going to be the primary focus. So, let's allow ourselves to tick forward here. There is an impassable front here. So our front is just going to be this front here. Although the Ottoman Empire is in this as well. So that's noted. Let's move our tank unit over. And I'm going to tell these guys to frontline right here. But the rest of our tanks are going to frontline here. And we're going to do the same with our infantry. These guys are going to frontline here. And the rest of our infantry are all going to frontline right up over here. We'll get started on fabricating claims, or rather justifying, I should say, in this game, on Austria here. So we'll get going on that. Getting Austria and Italy under control, I'm going to focus for the time being on getting Europe under control. After we get Austria, Italy, and Greece, who controls Sardinia? Italy? Okay, noted. After we get that under control, we can definitely focus in on the rest of this. We don't care about controlling everything ourselves. It just has to be within our faction, is what we're going for here. So that's definitely a fair amount of things that still need to be conquered. Oh, right. Hawaii is a thing that exists. We should take a look at the construction levels out over here. Okay, we can build one civilian factory there. But the infrastructure is already maxed. Sounds good. So that's reasonably fine. We'll get to work on that. Of course, combat casualties and convoys raided are a bit rough, but that went really, really well, all things considered. Like, impressively well. So this front line goes all the way over to here. Noted. So what's our plan as far as the attack goes? Basically, the plan is attack. So that would mean having all of these be in aggressive attack. Yeah, it'd be something about like this. Cool. So we're going to bring the forces over. That'll be fine. In the meantime, these guys need to go back to area defense, and they are area defending France, including the border with Italy. And we're including Switzerland as part of France now. That's just the way things work, I guess. So we're going to move all of this up here. We're also going to include anywhere in northern Germany that was not already covered. Not here. Okay. So we'll include Netherlands in that order. And Bremen. Lubeck, yes, that's fine. And up in Denmark. That's all part of France now, I guess. Sure, that'll work. So that's okay. We're going to get a lot of areas over here taken over, but we're basically done with the big boys at this point. Now, I kind of want to tell our Marines that they can get started on some of these German areas. So we're going to come up here. That'll be fine. And then maybe New Brandenburg over here. Something like this. And they're going to both be told to aggressively attack as well. So, no, don't be in part of this army group. No, absolutely not. But aggressively attack. I do want to come in here and start justifying immediately. That's going to take more time the more things we justify. But that's understood. We're going to get started on these, and we're going to be justifying about 3 simultaneously, I feel like. It's going to be a little bit until we get everything taken over. There's a lot of little nations left. But we've dealt with the big boys at this point, and now we're pretty much in cleanup mode. Austria and Italy are still going to be relatively large, but for the time being, this should be reasonably fine. This is a real infantry division here, and we're going to put that out over this way. Looks good for now. I just want to double check here. There are Austrian territories over here. Oh, this is Baden up here. But this is Austrian. Noted. Well, we have that all covered, so that should be fine. Cool. It's a little awkward, but shouldn't be the end of the world, for sure. So how long until our justification on Austria is finished at this point is the question. 215 total days? Okay. So yeah, we're going to be working on justifying like 3 at a time is, I think, going to be our target, and we'll just work through those. Now, there is this Austrian territory down here in Africa. Indeed, there is. I'm going to actually have these guys head down there. So they're going to be responsible for coming down here and taking this over. They're just going to offensive line straight down like this. Actually, not like that. They're going to offensive line down like that. That's better. So they'll execute that as soon as they're ready. That'll be fine. We've got a lot of forces in motion right now, but we're also doing a lot of construction. And that's absolutely wonderful. We're very happy to be doing a lot of construction right now. So there's a whole lot of infrastructure being worked on, and that's absolutely fine. None of it's a huge priority at this point, but we just want to get through our construction queue as much as possible. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will crush Austria and continue to work on getting Europe under control. After Austria, our next target is going to be up over here, then probably Italy would be the next quote-unquote big target. But we're running out of actual big targets. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.